The moment you realize you're not who you thought you were, you're not human anymore. You're divine retribution in a skin suit, a walking verdict wrapped in trembling flesh. They called you broken, fragile, sensitive. Oh, but how wrong they were. You weren't weak. You were preparing. Every sleepless night, every heartbreak, every betrayal was an initiation ritual. They stripped you down to bone just to see if anything holy could survive the fire. And it did. It did. You. The last thing left standing when the whole world burned itself out. You see, divine beings don't wear halos. They wear trauma like armor. They don't descend from the heavens. They crawl out of graves. And you, my dear, you're the proof. You don't pray for justice anymore. You are justice, uninvited, unholy, and completely unpredictable. The kind that doesn't wait for permission or applause. You don't deliver miracles. You deliver consequences. Look at your reflection. You think that's a face? That's a mask stitched by chaos, blessed by rage, kissed by something cosmic. There's something behind those eyes that remembers things older than creation itself. That's why people flinch when you enter a room. Not because they see you, but because something inside them recognizes what's inside you. The symmetry of fear. The quiet punishment for everything they thought they got away with. You used to beg the universe for peace. Now you are the universe's correction. You walk like a paradox. Sinner and saint, poison and cure, angel with blood under the nails. Every step you take rewrites karma in real time. You don't even have to speak anymore. The air bends around you. Reality shifts. Because whatever you are now, it's not flesh, it's consequence. Remember when they laughed? When they said you were dramatic, delusional, too intense? They thought they could bury you. But you weren't a seed. You were a curse disguised as potential. And now you bloom in their nightmares. You don't even chase revenge. That's too human. You become the environment where their lies collapse under their own weight. You haunt with presence alone. Your divine retribution, but not the pretty kind they paint in churches. You're the kind that visits the guilty in their sleep. The kind that makes liars confess without a word. You don't carry a sword. You are one, forged from betrayal, sharpened by silence and baptized in your own tears. Every scar you carry is an ancient scripture carved by the divine hand that said, enough. They wonder why their luck's gone rotten, why every plan turns against them. They don't realize they're standing in the blast radius of a walking reckoning. You became the echo of their choices, the living, breathing reminder that energy never dies. It just returns wearing a different face, yours. You don't operate on logic anymore. You operate on law, the kind that predates governments, gods, and guilt. A primal equilibrium that doesn't need witnesses or proof. You are that law made flesh, the calm before judgment, the smile before the sentence. And still, somewhere deep beneath all the fury and fire, there's that quiet sadness. The ghost of the person you used to be. The one who tried to love purely, who thought kindness was enough. They killed that version. But here's the twist. It didn't die. It mutated. It became a force. Love turned venom. Empathy turned precision. Mercy evolved into weaponry. You're not out for revenge. You're performing correction. You're balancing equations that mortals can't even see. Every time they mock you, they shorten their own timeline. Every time they doubt you, they trigger another sequence in their downfall. Because divine retribution doesn't rage. It waits. You've become the silent storm, the mirror that doesn't lie. The one presence the wicked can't fake smiles around. You terrify them not because you're cruel, but because you're just. You don't punish, you reveal. You make people face the parts of themselves they spent lifetimes burying. That's your gift and your curse. The world still hasn't caught on that you're not fighting for survival anymore. You are the survival mechanism of something bigger, a cosmic immune response sent into human form. That's why they fear you. That's why they whisper. That's why they can't look you in the eye for too long. You remind them that every evil eventually meets something built to end it. So breathe, smile, let them talk, let them misjudge, let them plot. Every insult they throw just becomes another thread in your tapestry of inevitability. They think they're fighting a person. They're not. They're fighting the aftermath of their own corruption, wearing your face. You're not a name anymore. You're not even a story. You're a force of nature wrapped in scar tissue and starlight. Your divine retribution in human skin. Unpredictable, unkillable, necessary. And the best part, you don't need to prove it. The universe already does it for you. You ever notice how quiet it gets right before the truth hits? That silence, thick, electric, suffocating, yeah, that's you now. You don't enter rooms anymore. You shift their gravity. People start confessing without meaning to. Their masks slip. Their smiles tremble. Because something in you isn't just watching, it's recording. Every lie, every betrayal, every cowardly smirk gets archived in that abyss behind your eyes. And when the time comes, you don't need revenge. The data plays itself. You are the playback. You're not chaos. No chaos is still guessing. You're precision. You've seen too much to believe in random. You understand the rhythm of collapse. You can feel the frequency of corruption like static in your veins. And when that frequency gets too loud, when it pollutes the air, something ancient inside you moves, slow, cold, surgical. It doesn't scream, it doesn't warn, it executes. That's divine retribution, not emotion, not vengeance, alignment. You walk through crowds like a ghost that learned to mimic the living. You nod, you smile, but inside, you're dissecting the whole theater. Every handshake is a reading, every eye contact is a scan. You see motives like heat signatures. You hear hypocrisy like gunfire in the dark. You stopped reacting a long time ago. Because when you become the law, you don't explain yourself to the accused. They think you've changed. But really, you just stopped bleeding for free. You sealed the wound, turned the pain into currency, and built a throne from what they threw away. You learned that silence isn't weakness, it's surveillance. That forgiveness isn't forgetting, it's tracking. You don't forgive people anymore. You study them. You let their guilt rot in your atmosphere until it suffocates them naturally. That's the elegance of divine punishment. It doesn't rush. It waits, and oh, how it unnerves them. They still call you dramatic, detached, dangerous, but you've seen the pattern. Every so-called good person hides a cemetery behind their smile. Every system preaches purity while feeding off decay. You used to feel crazy for noticing it. Now you embody it. You're the mirror they spend their whole lives avoiding. The one that doesn't show beauty or ugliness, just truth. Your divine retribution because you stopped pretending not to see. You're what happens when empathy grows teeth. When love stops begging and starts biting. You know the secret most people choke on. The light isn't gentle. It's interrogative. It burns. It exposes. That's why they hate you. You don't shine. You reveal. You don't heal. You remind. You've seen the divine, haven't you? Not in temples or clouds, but in the moments that ripped you open. The car crash, the betrayal, the isolation so deep it scraped your soul clean. That's where divinity hides, in the breakdowns that rewire you. Every scar on your body is a page in a holy manuscript. Every tear that hit the floor was ink. You didn't fall from grace. You were forged in it. And that smile you wear now, it's not happiness, it's understanding. The grin of someone who's been to hell, shook hands with the architects, and came back fluent in their language. You don't fear devils anymore. You recognize them. You know their tone, their logic, their scent, and the beauty. You learned how to use it, how to walk through fire and stay cold. You're not human, because humanity requires permission to act. You stopped asking. You operate on instinct and divine timing now. You don't chase signs, they chase you. You've become the omen, the whisper before consequence, the shiver down a guilty spine, the thing they dream about when they say, something's coming. That something is you. They can't categorize you anymore. Too spiritual for the sinners, too sinful for the saints, too kind to kill, too dangerous to trust. You're the middle point of creation's equation, the place where light folds into shadow. That's where power lives, in contradiction, in paradox. You're the proof that God doesn't play favorites, He plays balance. And balance isn't peaceful, it's brutal, it's necessary. It's why you lost everything, so the universe could recalibrate through you. You didn't lose friends, you shed frequencies. You didn't get betrayed, you got filtered. Every loss was a correction. Every heartbreak was a code update. You've been rewritten too many times to be sentimental now. Your version, infinity, untraceable, unreadable, untouchable. They don't understand why you smile at funerals and stay calm in chaos. It's because you've already died 1,000 times. You know what it's like to lose everything and still be haunted by your own breath. You've lived through your own extinction. That's why nothing scares you anymore. You don't fear death. You embarrass it. You keep walking after the credits roll, rewriting the ending no one thought possible. Your divine retribution, because you carry the patience of eternity in a human frame. You could destroy, but you choose to observe. You could expose, but you let people dig their own graves with their tongues. You've learned that true power doesn't scream, it smiles. It sits back and lets time deliver what justice can't. And maybe deep down, you still wish you could go back to the days when you believed in fairness, in apologies, in the idea that being good would save you. But that innocence died for a reason. It was sacrificed so you could see without filters, so you could step out of illusion and become the hand that balances the scales. So here you are, divine retribution in human skin, the holy disease that kills corruption quietly, the angel that learned to bleed but never die. You're not meant to be liked, you're meant to be felt. You're the static in the room, the silence that follows lies, the breath that stops hearts mid-sentence. You're the consequence people pray doesn't find them. And here's the truth they'll never admit. They needed you. The world needed something like you, something that bleeds truth, something that doesn't flinch, something that walks the line between mercy and massacre with steady hands and an indifferent smile. So don't hide, don't shrink, don't apologize for being the inevitable. You didn't come here to play nice. You came here to reset the board. You're not a person anymore. You're divine retribution in human skin. And the moment they realize that, it'll already be too late. And that's the irony, isn't it? They prayed for salvation, yet when it arrived, it looked like you. Not a saint in white robes, but a figure they couldn't label. You're the prayer they never expected to be answered like this. You're the storm disguised as a whisper, the mercy that walks with a blade. Every time you breathe, It's a sermon the wicked can't endure. You don't even raise your voice anymore. You've learned that silence can be louder than thunder. When you walk into a room, the air rearranges itself. People get anxious, restless, exposed, like their souls remember something their minds are still denying. They feel the temperature drop, not because it's cold, but because truth just entered the atmosphere. And truth doesn't need to shout. It just is. You used to crave understanding. You begged people to see your heart, to see that you meant well. But the world mistook your compassion for compliance. They feasted on your light, thinking it would dim you. But light under pressure doesn't fade. It fractures, and every fracture became a mirror reflecting their rot back at them. That's what you are now, 1,000 shards of divine awareness, cutting through illusion wherever you go. And they feel it. Oh, they feel it. Every time you look at them, something inside them shifts, cracks, trembles. Because your gaze isn't human anymore. It's forensic. It scans souls like evidence, and deep down, they know. They're on trial. You don't even have to speak. Existence itself testifies through you. You are both witness and verdict. People think divine retribution is fire and brimstone. They expect lightning, apocalypse, destruction. But the real punishment is exposure. The real wrath of God is clarity. You don't destroy people. You make them see themselves. You strip away their delusion, layer by layer, until all that's left is the raw, shaking truth they spent lifetimes avoiding. And they call it cruelty because it burns. They say, you've changed. No, you returned. You came back to what you were before you learned fear. Before the conditioning, before you started mistaking humility for submission. You remembered that creation and destruction are just two sides of the same pulse, and you carry both. That's what they can't comprehend. Your holiness is violent. Your gentleness is lethal. Your love is judgment wrapped in grace. You don't chase revenge, because revenge is emotional. You don't even chase justice, because justice requires audience. You operate on a deeper law, something cosmic, unspoken, ancestral. When people cross you, you don't retaliate, you recalibrate. The universe itself begins to rearrange their circumstances, syncing to your pulse. Their lies lose power, their blessings dry up, their peace evaporates. You don't punish them, their own vibration does. You've simply become the trigger that activates it. You learned that forgiveness doesn't mean letting go. It means letting God handle it through you. You're the vessel now, the channel through which equilibrium restores itself. That's why you don't need to argue anymore. Reality speaks in your tone. The weather changes around your emotions. People feel drained after lying near you, healed after crying beside you. You've become a filter for spiritual physics. And the funny thing, you didn't even ask for this. You just survived, that's all. You kept walking when others collapsed. You learned to stitch your own wounds with silence and shadow. You looked madness in the face and said, I'll make art from you. And the universe watched that and said, perfect. That's the one. Because divinity doesn't select the polished. It selects the ruined. It chooses the ones with cracked foundations, because that's where the light leaks through. And now look at you, half angel, half monster, completely misunderstood and utterly necessary. You are the middle point in the divine equation, the balance between wrath and redemption. They'll try to diagnose it, call you cold, call you narcissistic, call you distant. But what they're really saying is, you no longer feed my illusion. You stopped being useful to their manipulation. You stopped pretending to not see the game. And when you stop pretending, people panic, because most of them only survive through others' blindness. You don't get angry anymore. You just recognize, and recognition itself is power. That's why your presence feels heavy now. Why people either open up or flee. You've become a walking confessional, a one-person apocalypse. You don't destroy buildings. You collapse belief systems. You don't kill people. You end their false versions. Even your loneliness isn't human anymore. It's holy isolation, the kind prophets felt in deserts and madmen felt in mirrors. It's the silence between lightning and thunder, the space where destiny takes a breath before it hits. You live there now, between sound and silence, between mercy and annihilation, between being known and being remembered. You're not meant to be understood. You're meant to be felt. The universe didn't put you here to fit in. It put you here to tilt the scale. You're the anomaly, the error, the bug in their godless code. And the system will keep trying to delete you. But you can't erase divine math. You can only prove it. So they can mock. They can twist your words, slander your name, frame your kindness as chaos. Let them. Because deep down, every time they speak your name, they invoke the very frequency they fear. You don't fight anymore. You vibrate. And every vibration of your truth dismantles their illusion a little more. You've become the calm at the center of the storm, the eye that sees everything but never blinks. You move slow, deliberate, surgical, while the world spins itself into hysteria. You're not chasing a destiny anymore. You are one, and when the time comes, when all the noise dies, when every liar runs out of air, you won't need to lift a hand. You'll just stand there, breathing, and the truth will unfold like a revelation. They'll finally see what you've become. Not a person, not a savior, not even a villain, just divine retribution in human skin. And by then, it'll be too late to repent. Because that's the cruel beauty of it, isn't it? They only recognize holiness once it's standing over their ruin. They'll look at you in that final moment, eyes wide, trembling, and whisper, "What are you?" And you'll smile that quiet, knowing smile. Because there are no words left for what you've become. You're not a warning, you're not a lesson, you're the result. The divine aftermath of every sin they refused to see. You were sculpted from their arrogance, refined by their betrayal, and baptized in the silence of your own pain. You didn't rise to be worshipped, you rose to balance. So when they finally understand, when the last echo of denial fades, and they're left staring at their own reflection in your eyes, don't speak, don't explain. Just let them feel it. Let them feel the weight of what it means to awaken something they can't destroy. Because you're not here for revenge. You're here for closure. You're not a human seeking peace. You're peace disguised as a reckoning. And when it's done, when the world falls quiet, when the lesson lands, you'll walk away calm, untouched, unbothered. No applause, no validation, just that eerie silence again. The silence of a job finished. The silence of divine retribution in human skin, disappearing back into the dark where it came from. Listen carefully. Something inside you has been waiting, not growing, waiting, like an ancient code carved before clocks, before gods, before guilt. It's not a soul, not exactly. It's a fracture in the fabric of everything pretending to be normal. You feel it, don't you? That pulse behind the pulse, that whisper that doesn't use words. It doesn't sleep when you sleep. It studies, and you keep trying to call it trauma, instinct, talent, anything that fits inside their vocabulary. But it isn't. It's older than time, and twice as dangerous, because it remembers when creation still screamed. It remembers the moment light first realized it was being watched. They told you you were born, but you were summoned. Every heartbreak, every humiliation, every betrayal. Those weren't accidents. Those were incantations. Every time they broke you, the fracture widened, and that ancient thing inside you stretched, looked around, and smiled. You see, people like you don't heal. You mutate. You don't forgive. You evolve into the consequence. The darkness didn't ruin you. It refined you. You walked through hell, and instead of burning, you learned the temperature. They think danger means violence. They have no idea. True danger is someone who's been shattered, rearranged, and now walks with the calm of a bomb that knows it won't miss. That's you. A paradox with a heartbeat, saint and psychopath sharing the same spine. Your mercy with blood on its hands and a smile that shouldn't exist. That's why they stare. That's why they flinch when you laugh. They can feel that old energy behind your eyes. The one that remembers eternity and doesn't care about their little rules. You wear morality like a borrowed coat now. Sometimes on, sometimes off, depending on the weather. You learn that good and evil are just management strategies for fear. You learn that love and rage are twins, both begging to be witnessed. And when they tried to contain you with guilt, you realized guilt is just a leash for those too afraid to own their shadow. You're not afraid anymore, are you? You stopped praying for peace because peace is for people who still believe they're safe. You've seen too much. You've died in silence too many times. Now you don't crave peace. You crave precision. Every move you make cuts through illusions like glass. Every word you speak rearranges atmospheres. You can feel people's lies crawl under your skin before they even finish their sentences. And still, you smile. Not because you're kind, but because you know something they don't. You know the rules of reality were written by beings weaker than you. You know chaos listens to your pulse. You know pain bends to your rhythm. So when they say you've changed, laugh. Of course you've changed. You finally remembered what you are. They mistake your silence for surrender, but silence is where you reload. They think you're calm. You're actually calculating trajectories. You don't want revenge. You want correction. You want the balance restored, the order flipped, the old equation rewritten. You were never meant to fit in their story. You were meant to end it and start something new. Something primal, something honest. And the best part? You don't need anyone to believe you, because belief is fragile, and you are the proof. Every step you take makes their reality stutter. Every breath you draw drags that ancient power closer to the surface. You've seen both sides of existence, the halo and the horns. You learned that angels fall because they jump, not because they slip. And you learned demons aren't born in hell. They're born in hearts that loved too deeply and weren't loved back. You are the knife and the hand that wields it. You are the light's shadow and the shadow's light. They can't define you because definitions depend on borders. And you erased yours the day you stopped begging for permission to be dangerous. So listen closely, because this is the part they don't want you to hear. That thing inside you, it's awake now, and it's hungry. Not for blood, for truth, for consequence, for symmetry. And soon, they'll all realize you weren't the villain, you were the update. The glitch that couldn't be deleted. The echo of something that existed before fear had a name. You don't destroy worlds. You expose them. Now smile. The old gods are watching through your eyes again. Do you feel that hum behind your thoughts? That vibration that doesn't come from nerves or heartbeat, but from something ancient coiled deep in your marrow. Like a serpent sleeping beneath the illusion of being human. You've hidden it for years, called it sensitivity, called it empathy, called it madness. But it's none of those things. It's memory. It's the memory of what you were before the cage of flesh learned to talk. You've spent lifetimes shrinking yourself to fit inside their language, smiling when you wanted to devour, obeying when you were born to dismantle. But you can't disguise eternity forever. Sooner or later, something cracks. And the moment you stopped apologizing for your intensity, that was it. The lock turned. The thing inside you opened its eyes and whispered, finally. They'll tell you you've changed, that you're unstable, dangerous, detached. Of course you are. Stability is for the domesticated. You're an evolutionary accident that remembered too much. You know the trick. The world isn't solid. It's agreed upon. The only reason reality holds together is because enough scared people nod in sync. You stopped nodding. And now, reality is stuttering around you like a bad signal. You've noticed it, haven't you? The coincidences, the patterns, the way people reveal themselves the second you stop pretending. You don't chase truth anymore. It hunts you. The world bends to your emotional weather. When you walk into a room, frequencies change, screens flicker. Someone starts confessing things they swore they'd never say. You don't command it. You simply exist, and existence rearranges itself to acknowledge you. That's what terrifies them, because they sense it too, that you're no longer one of us. You've seen behind the code. You've touched the machinery running their little dream. You've realized that morality, religion, politics, all of it is camouflage for one basic truth. Everyone's trying to control the fear of being nothing, but you're not afraid of nothing. You came from nothing. You are what nothing looks like when it remembers it can move. You don't even seek revenge anymore. That's too small. What you crave is exposure. The raw unveiling of everything fake, every mask, every illusion, every saint who hides their appetite under a halo. You want to show them what purity really looks like. Chaos wearing a calm face. And the irony? You still have compassion. You'd save them if they could survive the cure. But they can't. They were built for comfort, not clarity. You were built for fire. That's why pain never destroyed you. It baptized you. Every breakdown rewired you, stripped another illusion, revealed another layer of armor under your skin. You've outgrown the concept of healing. Healing implies returning to what you were. You don't want that. You've tasted too much of the infinite to ever crawl back into being ordinary. You don't mend. You metamorphose. You don't move on. You ascend sideways into something language can't track. You've seen your reflection change, haven't you? The eyes sharper, older, quieter. The face doesn't smile for validation anymore. It smiles when it smells fear, when it senses recognition in someone else's gaze. That microsecond where they realize you're not acting. They see the hum, the thing behind your pupils that isn't pretending to be human. That's why they try to label you narcissist, villain, lunatic, monster. Those words are fences, desperate attempts to contain what can't be studied. But let them talk. Every insult is a spell you break by breathing. Every attempt to define you feeds the very chaos they're trying to suppress. You know the secret now. Power doesn't come from control. It comes from surrendering to what you actually are. From letting the darkness use your hands, your voice, your eyes as instruments of truth. You don't serve it. You collaborate with it. Together, you and that ancient pulse inside you, are rewriting the definition of possible. That's why accidents happen around you. Not because you're cursed, but because reality bends under the weight of your intent. The universe keeps tripping over your frequency. It's trying to adjust to something that doesn't belong to its timeline. You're the glitch, yes, but you're also the update. And now that you've seen the machinery, you understand. Destruction and creation are the same gesture, just seen from different angles. You can love and obliterate in the same breath. You can heal by haunting. You can burn and call it mercy. So when they ask what you are, don't explain. Just look at them with that calm that makes even the air hesitate. Let the silence speak for you. Because inside that silence, the Ancient One moves. It remembers the first scream of the universe, the moment chaos realized it could echo. That's the sound in your bones. That's the rhythm you live by. Whatever's inside you, it's not coming. It's here, and it's watching, and it's smiling. You've noticed, haven't you, that the air changes around you when you enter a room. Like the atmosphere remembers you before your name does. They call it presence, but that's too small a word. It's recognition. The molecules remember your pattern. They move differently for you because they've moved for you before. In other lives, in other forms, in other wars. That's what no one tells you. Eternity never forgets its favorites. And you were always one of its dangerous favorites. See, whatever's inside you isn't just older than time. It's what time was built to keep imprisoned. Every ticking clock, every routine, every rule of gravity and guilt. All of it designed to keep beings like you contained. But the cracks are showing now, aren't they? The routines don't hold, the rules blur. You feel yourself slipping through moments like smoke through fingers. You've learned that you can change a situation just by noticing it, because awareness in you is radioactive. They'll call it coincidence, intuition, luck. Anything to keep from admitting they're standing in the blast radius of someone who can bend narrative. But deep down, they feel it. You walk past, and suddenly they remember the cost of lying to themselves. You speak, and their masks start to itch. You laugh, and something in the walls shifts. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to warp, to distort, to unmake and remake until truth leaks through the seams. That's what your pain was for. Not punishment, but ignition. The fire that cracked your cage wasn't cruelty. It was calibration. Every betrayal rewrote your circuitry. Every heartbreak reprogrammed your signal. Now you don't just feel reality, you rewrite it by existing. And that's what they fear most. Because if one of you remembers what you are, the whole illusion trembles. One awakened consciousness is louder than a billion obedient minds. That's why they distract you with shame, convince you to apologize for your intensity, to dilute your chaos with politeness. Because if you ever let the full current run through, everything built on control burns down. But here's the secret. You've already stopped pretending. You're just playing along to measure the distance between cages. You speak softly now, not because you're weak, but because you've learned silence bends the loudest. You don't chase people anymore. You observe them like experiments. You watch how they flinch when their own reflection looks back through your eyes. You're not cruel, you're exact. Precision mistaken for malice. Compassion mistaken for manipulation. Because truth, in its rawest form, always feels like violence to those built on lies. And you've become fluent in truth. That's your weapon, sharper than any blade. But you didn't get here by chance, did you? You earned it through nights that no one saw, through heartbreaks, that rewired your logic through screams swallowed in silence. You were forged in solitude while everyone else was worshipping noise. You dissected yourself until you found the blueprint of divinity hiding under the rot. You learned that every monster is just an angel that refused to kneel. That's your paradox. You carry both codes, creator and destroyer, saint and sinner, victim and God. You don't pick sides anymore because you are the sides. You understand that balance isn't peace, it's tension mastered. It's knowing when to smile and when to dismantle. It's being the calm before the collapse, and the collapse itself. They study you now, in secret. They replay your words, trace your steps, imitate your detachment. They'll call it inspiration, but it's infection. You've contaminated their limits. You've shown them a version of themselves that terrifies them, one that isn't chained to fear. You didn't just escape the system, you bent it around your pulse, and yet you still walk quietly. That's the part that confuses them. They expect fury, revenge, chaos. But you learned that true chaos doesn't shout. It waits, it watches, it moves only when the outcome is guaranteed. You've become the storm that studies before it strikes. Because patience in you isn't restraint. It's precision disguised as stillness. You're not seeking validation anymore. You don't need witnesses. The universe itself is your proof. Every pattern breaking, every coincidence aligning, every whisper of, "How did they know?" echoing behind you. That's the resonance of something ancient moving through modern flesh. You don't need faith. You're the reason faith exists. So when you wake in the middle of the night with your heart pounding for no reason, that's not anxiety. That's the signal. That's the ancient thing checking the perimeter, ensuring the vessel can still hold the voltage. When you feel lost, it's not punishment. It's migration. Parts of you are moving between worlds, adjusting to frequencies the human mind can't yet name. You're not broken. You're becoming multidimensional. That's why people leave, why connections collapse, why you feel too much and nothing at all. The frequencies don't match anymore. You're shedding timelines like dead skin, and as the last pieces of your old self fall away, remember this: the weapon inside you was never meant to destroy people. It was meant to destroy falsehood. Every system that keeps souls asleep. Every whisper that tells light it should stay dim to be accepted. That's your purpose. Not peace, not perfection, but purification. You are the living contradiction that keeps evolution honest. A myth disguised as a person, a warning wearing a smile, a reminder that creation doesn't just birth, it bites back. So when they ask who you are, look them dead in the eye and say nothing. Because the truth isn't something they can hear. The truth is what trembles behind your silence. That whatever's inside you isn't coming to save or destroy. It's coming to reveal. And when it fully surfaces, when that ancient pulse finally takes the wheel, the world won't end. It will just remember what power looked like before it was taught to be afraid. Because deep down, you've always known this ending wasn't really an ending at all. It was a revelation wearing goodbye's face. You were never meant to find peace. You were meant to find clarity. And clarity, for beings like you, is war. Not the kind with bullets or screams, but the quiet kind. The kind that happens inside your chest when the truth finally breaks every lock you built to survive. You used to beg the universe to stop testing you. Now you realize the tests were never for you. They were for it, the thing inside you, the one older than gravity and sharper than love. It needed to make sure the vessel could hold it without collapsing. It needed to know if you could wield its chaos without drowning in it. And now, it knows. That's why the silence feels different now, not empty. Listening. The universe doesn't threaten you anymore because it recognizes its own reflection behind your eyes. That's what you've become. Not a victim of fate, but a collaborator of forces that predate light itself. You're not guided by destiny. You're rewriting it from the inside out. You've seen too much to ever believe in coincidence again. You've felt too much to ever kneel to logic again. You're not on a path. You are the path. People who touch you change, whether they want to or not. Your energy rearranges them, rewrites them, infects them with awareness. You don't even try. That's the danger. You simply exist, and existence itself starts asking questions it was never supposed to ask. They'll call you dangerous because you are. You dismantle illusions by breathing. You break curses by existing. You make silence confess things it's hidden for centuries, and you do it all without raising your voice. That's power. Not noise, not control, but precision, so complete it terrifies gods into remembering they can bleed. You know now that there was never a line between light and dark. There was only you, standing at the border, both sides whispering your name, begging for allegiance. But you've learned to walk the middle ground like a blade, not to choose but to become the consequence. You don't belong to heaven or hell. They both report to you now. And that's the irony, isn't it? All your life they made you feel small, when in truth you were just compressed, folded down into something the world could handle. But the compression's over. The seal's broken. The ancient code has awakened in your veins, and the containment field called humanity is cracking. That's why everything feels surreal lately. The dreams, the déjà vu, the sense that time isn't behaving. It's not madness, it's realignment. Reality's orbit shifting around your frequency. You're not losing your mind. Your mind is just expanding faster than language can keep up. So what happens now? Now you stop running. You stop chasing redemption, revenge, understanding. You stand still, not in surrender, but in sovereignty. Let the storm wrap itself around you like recognition. Let the noise of the world collapse under the weight of your calm. You've spent your whole life trying to protect people from your darkness. Now it's time to protect your darkness from people too small to comprehend it. And as it fully rises, that ancient intelligence behind your ribs, don't fight it. Don't name it. Don't pray to it. Listen to it. Because it's not a monster. It's memory. It's the part of existence that never forgot the original agreement. To burn through illusion until only truth remains. You've done that. You've burned. You've been the fire and the ash and the phoenix that remembered the match. You've walked through eras pretending to be a person when you were really a signal, waiting for alignment. And now, the signal's clear, the echo's over. The voice behind the mirror has stepped through, so let them call you cursed. Let them call you insane. Let them call you dangerous, because every time they say your name, the walls of their false world tremble. Whatever's inside you, it's no longer sleeping. It's no longer whispering. It's awake. And from this moment forward, the universe will have to learn your language.